AT&T Stadium erupted. Once again, during the Arlington Day 2 concert as BTS's Jimin took the stage with an energy that instantly left tens of thousands of ARMYs spellbound. However, it wasn't just his vocals or charisma that stole the spotlight. A brief moment during the DNA performance brought back fond memories of Jimin's signature dance skills. As the iconic DNA choreography kicked in, Jimin seemed to need no time at all to recall every detail of the routine. His fingers, hand gestures, and body transitions were executed with striking precision and fluidity, as if the choreography had never truly left his body. The moment offered a vivid demonstration of muscle memory in action. After years of varied activities, breaks, and shifts throughout a career, a professional dancer's body retains movement patterns drilled in through countless repetitions, and that night, Jimin proved it right in front of ARMY, the moment he flawlessly executed the signature DNA moves. The crowd's cheers surged dramatically. Many ARMYs appeared caught off guard, amazed to see the choreography's finer details brought back to life with such intensity. What made the moment even more intriguing was Jungkook's reaction. Standing not far from Jimin, Jungkook gave his full attention. For a moment, his expression reflected a mix of surprise and awe as he watched Jimin seamlessly step back into the old routine, with little else to do but watch. Jungkook's reaction felt like a sweet little surprise in the middle of a massive show. For ARMY, Jungkook's response made the moment go viral. Jimin performed as if revisiting the past, while Jungkook looked like he was rediscovering a familiar talent he knew all too well. How can his movements still be that precise? Became the question echoing across the fandom that night. The DNA choreography features several instantly recognizable moves. Its signature hand and finger gestures are deeply etched in the memories of BTS fans, amplifying the nostalgic effect when Jimin executed them with such high precision. Yet, the performance was more than just a nostalgic trip. There was a deeper story behind repeating the old routine. Every move showcased Jimin's long journey as a performer. What looked simple to the audience was the product of relentless practice, discipline, and a body trained to remember details long after time has passed. Jimin made the movements look effortless. By performing them so naturally, the choreography felt all the more impressive. He didn't look like someone trying to recall old steps, but rather a dancer whose body knew what to do before his mind could even process it. ARMY's cheers grew louder, transforming AT&T Stadium into an ocean of sound as Jimin completed the section. Cameras and eyes converged on him, shifting the stage energy into one of the most nostalgic highlights of the Arlington Day 2 concert. On the side, Jungkook captured attention with his reaction to Jimin's performance. While the two often tease each other or create playful moments on stage, this situation felt different. Jungkook seemed genuinely speechless at Jimin's spontaneous display. There was something captivating about his expression, not just shock, but the look of someone watching an old memory come to life right before his eyes. Naturally, ARMY caught every little detail. Social media quickly filled with discussions about muscle memory. Fans revisited conversations about how deeply movement is embedded in a performer who spent years perfecting routines. The moment served as a reminder that Jimin's skill relies on more than mere memorization. It stems from years of deep physical experience. Even after time passed, the moment the music to DNA played, Jimin's body intuitively found its rhythm. Perhaps that is why such a simple moment felt so monumental. Jimin didn't need to give a long speech or offer explanations. A few seconds of choreography were enough to send ARMY into nostalgia, make the stadium roar, and leave Jungkook mesmerized. Yet, one detail left ARMY curious. Was Jungkook's reaction purely out of surprise at Jimin's muscle memory? Or was there an inside story behind that look that only the two of them understood? Because as DNA echoed through the venue and Jimin performed those iconic moves, it felt like more than an old routine. Coming back to life, it felt like a shared memory subtly reignited between the two BTS members. What gave ARMY goosebumps wasn't just Jimin performing old moves, but how his body appeared to have never forgotten them. As DNA began playing at AT&T Stadium, Jimin didn't need a single second to catch the rhythm. There were no hesitant adjustments or pauses to recall the next step. The moment the music hit the familiar section, his body responded automatically. The finger movements were among the most eye-catching details. The small, iconic gestures of DNA were executed with precision, flowing seamlessly into his hands, shoulders, and body transitions without a trace of stiffness or doubt. For fans who have followed BTS over the years, the detail felt deeply familiar. Within seconds, ARMY recognized the exact section Jimin was performing, sending deafening cheers throughout the stadium. Interestingly, Jimin didn't look like he was trying to prove he still remembered the routine. He looked completely relaxed. It was as if his body held the entire sequence deep within its memory. This is precisely why the term muscle memory fits the moment so well. In dance, movements rehearsed repeatedly become automatic responses. A performer doesn't need to overthink every single step. After extensive training, the body naturally recognizes patterns, rhythm, direction, and transitions. Jimin demonstrated this effortlessly that night. He didn't need to count beats out loud or deliberate overhand placements. Shoulder movements or body shifts. The music played, and Jimin's movements followed naturally. Even his facial expressions recaptured the character of the choreography. Subtle shifts in his gaze, a faint smile, and subtle body gestures elevated the performance beyond a simple rerun. He stepped right back into an era that marked an important chapter in BTS's journey. The contrast between the time that has passed and the precision of his execution left ARMY in awe. BTS has gone through numerous eras, evolving their choreography, concepts, stages, and challenges. Yet, when DNA played again, a piece of that past resurfaced through Jimin's movements. A single hand gesture reminded of a different era. A single finger movement set the stadium ablaze. And a single routine proved that a performer's experience never truly fades over time. Yet that night, ARMY wasn't the only ones caught off guard. On the side of the stage, Jungkook appeared speechless as he watched Jimin perform the routine. What initially centered on muscle memory gradually turned into a captivating moment as fans turned their attention toward watching closely as Jimin executed the iconic DNA moves. Jungkook needed no words. Single look was enough to catch everyone's attention. Jungkook looked as though he was witnessing something he hadn't quite expected to see that night. With Jimin moving so fast and precisely, Jungkook paid close attention to every detail of his bandmate's execution. His reaction became one of the most talked about highlights. It carried a mix of shock, admiration, and curiosity at how Jimin could pull off the moves so naturally after all this time. While stage expressions don't always reveal everything on a performer's mind, That brief moment added a distinct dynamic between the two. ARMYs who initially cheered for Jimin's moves grew even more excited upon noticing Jungkook's reaction. The camera capturing the moment offered an extra treat. On one side, Jimin demonstrated his body's retained memory of DNA, while on the other, Jungkook stood like a front-row spectator, witnessing an unexpected surprise. Ultimately, Jimin needed only a few seconds to prove that muscle memory never truly fades. A short segment of DNA was enough to send AT&T Stadium into a frenzy and command the audience's full attention. Yet the surprises didn't end with Jimin's dance routine. Afterward, ARMY's focus shifted to Jungkook's brief reaction, elevated the moment even further. Amidst the concert's grand energy, his expression reflected genuine awe at Jimin's ability to execute the iconic moves so naturally. Jimin may have simply been dancing, but for ARMY, Jungkook's gaze told a deeper story. The DNA choreography is far more than a set of movements. It carries memories from a pivotal chapter in BTS's journey. Its distinct hand gestures, finger details, and recognizable steps are deeply rooted in the memories of millions of fans. Seeing Jimin perform them again after so long made nostalgia in. Jungkook was right there to witness it all.